Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Michael, and I've been making this game for the last 12 months. It is now officially 1 year. That is 1 year of living the dream. Well, not really, but you can sort of see what I'm getting at with this. I've actually done heaps this month, lots of polish and refinement, lots of things that you can actually see. And I'll be doing a gameplay test soon as well, so let me show you some of the new stuff. First of all, the archer is in the game and he works. And he is a total pain in the ass, just how I designed him. He also combos in with the other enemies, and he is definitely rage-inducing. He does a bunch of cool things as well, like when you get close to him, he picks randomly what he's going to do. My personal favourite is when he arrows you in the face, you manage to dodge in close, and then he just legs it and runs away from you. You will also notice in the footage that's playing at the moment that there are some new particle effects in the game. Now these play on being hitting an enemy, or when either of you block attacks. These all help to enhance the visibility of the combat and help the player understand exactly what's going on. Now the original enemy type, the fellow with the shield and the axe, has had his combat routines fixed up, and now he actually uses his shield to constantly block all attacks in either the upper or lower lanes, depending on his stance. So to defeat him, you now need to watch what he's doing and do the opposite, and then when he swaps, swap back the other way. Lots of enemies in Bannerman are going to have little quirks like this, and he's one of the more beginning enemies you come across. He's actually blocks in interesting ways, so this obviously gets expanded on with other characters later that will have interesting blocking mechanics, but he's sort of one of the basic ones just to get you used to doing something a bit out of the ordinary. There's a few other particle effects I'm using as well, like the smoke and embers that you can see here. Now these are because I'm reworking the level layouts and ensuring everything is where it needs to be. I'm making sure mainly that there are lots of little nooks and crannies to explore. There's areas for things to be found, and there's nice sort of set pieces laid out for having some pretty cool fights. So far I've reworked the village, the forest, and I've created a couple of the campfire levels. The village has changed the most dramatically. The only thing that really remains from the previous version is the colour palette. Considering this was one of the first levels I ever did, it's a lot different now. The campfire levels are now in the game, well some of them at least, some of them are in the game. They now work as intended to bridge the gap between their combat levels and to provide something of a home base to the character. On a little side note here, I absolutely love it when games provide a home base or other safe area for the player to get away from the primary gameplay loop. Now, best example I can think of is in the original Deus Ex. So the main character, JC Denton, has an office in UNATCO's building. UNATCO's the guys you work for. In this office you have a desk, a computer, and you have an email address on your computer. The office changes over time as well. So when you first arrive, you haven't moved in properly yet, and there are cardboard boxes scattered around. Eventually it gets cleared up, and I think by the end you even have a little pot plant in the corner. Now, at about the halfway point through that game, you find out that you're going to be leaving your Natco one way or the other, and you actually get a little moment where you can basically say goodbye to the office. Even though it's had no part in the gameplay so far, it really helps to ground you and provide a connection to the world. This should give you a pretty good idea of what role the Campfire will be playing in Bannerman. There will also be some other things that are happening at the campfires that I've worked on a bit here. I'm not going to say too much about them, I'm just going to give you a couple of quick glimpses because I don't want to ruin it, but here's a couple of little shots from it. That dodges. Yep. That swings your sword. That swings your sword differently. That blocks. And that punches people or kicks people in the dick. There you go. Now all these changes, when put together with a few other things that I've done so far, like I've put proper controller support in, means that you can now actually play through the first about third or so of the game, start to finish. So you can fight enemies, you can die, you can start again from the campfires, you can find items, you can get your armor repaired. Up until now, everything has been tiny little isolated sections, and while the work is still going on these parts aren't finished or locked in yet. They are now all hooked up, and they're sort of getting closer to what they'll be in the final thing. That makes a huge difference. Alright, that pretty much covers everything that I've done this month. Everything's looking really good. I'm really happy that now it plays like a game and you can play through it rather than just playing through little sections. You can play it start to finish, somewhat. I will be doing a gameplay test shortly. Just a small one, to see how things are going and to get some feedback on things. Following that, I will be doing the trailer, hopefully this month or next month, and then I'll be popping it up on Greenlight. It should be this month. I want to get it done pretty soon. To that end, I'll be doing a couple of more levels and a couple more bad guys, hopefully, as well, to pop in the trailer, and because I'm at that point, I need to get more things in the game now. But yeah, it's all looking pretty sweet. I like it. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to go back to it. Alright, thank you very much, guys. Catch you next time.
How's it going?